power. Fight the power. We got to fight the power.
Welcome back to All Politics Are Local, America's number one political hip-hop radio talk show. We are here this week with the Mayor's Forum, but before we begin that, we are going to have our weekly disclaimer. All Politics Are Local is purely a community radio production, and the ideas and programming do not in any manner reflect the views or positions of Rutgers University North. Anything that is said is only a reflection of the people who said it. So welcome to the Mayor's Forum this week. The mayor cannot be here, but we have the very, very vocal, the very experienced Deputy Mayor for Employment, Rahman Muhammad.
What's up, fellas, man? Y'all call me, when you only call me up here, invite me, man, when crisis happens. Fellas. What's up?
Well, I mean, because when there needs to be a little bit of fireworks, we want a little bit of fireworks.
I know, man.
We know that.
Can y'all use me to come talk about hip hop one day?
Well, we can
talk about Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's playing right now.
We want to talk about Jay-Z hustle today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, last week everybody mad at Jay-Z for what?
For what?
Like, who fell for that crap anyway?
What? So you don't think he sold him out? You think it's chess?
Oh, yeah,
you think it's backdoor?
No, man.
You think it's still working together?
How you mad at this man for wanting to be a multi-billionaire?
Well, I know he's already a multi-billionaire.
You know, he's a billionaire. He wanted to be a multi-billionaire. You know, now, how you gonna get mad about that? I mean, if anybody, listen, we've been having hustles like that for a long time. If anybody, listen, Sean John sold us Rock Vote or Die, man, for $70 a t-shirt.
$70 a t-shirt?
Y'all bought that too.
We bought. You bought a t-shirt?
I didn't buy it, but I'm telling you, I saw people buying it. $70 a t-shirt.
Really? $70?
$70, brother. And that was back then.
Vote or die, but
Vote or Die. That was 2004. Imagine what it costs today.
Wow. All right. So, man. So how are things, man? What's going on?
Hey, man. Same thing, man. I'm here with y'all, man. I'm trying to figure out what you, man. You know, same thing out there.
Now,
we trying to get our information, the right information, out to the public.
Right. So I'm asking where you want to start. Because I know we're going to talk about the presidential election. We're going to talk about Court Book a little bit.
Oh,
I know
really?
That, well, I mean, I thought that's what you wanted to do.
I do.
And I know that the pressing issue of the day, right?
Yeah.
In terms of all the different confusion and all the really serious stuff that's over water and all the other stuff. And I know that everybody's spending a lot of time with this.
Yes, no question. Listen, man, just ask away. I think the mayor right now is doing a great job in trying to get the information out, him and his administration. And I'm saying we need to make sure that people filter out some of the nonsense, the political agendas that's being played out there, and make sure that people who really need help and need service and want the information get the correct information. And the mayor has tasked his team to ensure that, we go out there and make sure that people get the correct information. So, I think the first thing we need to do is probably dispel some of the myths out there.
All right, so I'll start with the question.
Go ahead.
Can we drink the water?
Yes, you can. You can drink the water. For the homes that you can't drink the water if your home has a lead pipe, a lead service line in it. But for most of the residents of the city, that's not affected.
Now, do the residents already know who those are?
Yes, they do. You mean the residents
who have the lead pipes that are leading into their house?
The residents who have the lead pipe, if they don't know, because some may not know.
Okay.
So if they don't know, they should contact the water department to come have their pipes tested, because your house is on the list. Is 18,000 homes that have lead service lines in them that the mayor administration is trying to replace, has actually started to replace. You cannot drink the water if you are in those homes. And we're providing bottled water at this moment until they check the filters out to make sure that the filters are working. But for the majority of the residents in the city of Newark who don't have lead service line in their homes, the water is okay to utilize.
So if I have a lead service line going to my home, but I don't know it, where can I go to find this out?
You got to go to the water department. And when you go to the water, you contact the water department.
But is there any place online I could just go and see?
Well, they do have a website, but what we're asking people to contact the water department, because we want you to come in and check and make sure your address is on the list or not. We've sent out letters, information, and letting people know that they had lead service lines, but a lot of people don't read the mail that's being sent out. So we are asking people that if they're curious, because there are some people that don't have lead service lines, that's curious to know if they have a service line.
And
we want them to come down. We want them to call up, but we also want them to come down and find out. And we want them, even if you feel like, even if you're curious to know if you have a lead, rather you have a lead service line or not, we want you to ask the water department to come and test your water to find if lead is in your water.
So everyone should really call for a test
Yes,
for their water.
No
Everybody
question.
should get the water test.
No question. No
right?
question.
So
if you're curious, you want to know, you want to feel comfortable, come get your water tested for free with the city of North.
Okay, so there are two things. First, if there's a list that went around, there's also a list that's online. There's also there's things available, but you want people to also just call City Hall, see if you were on that list. And are there particular areas of Newark that are more affected than others?
Yes, the Wanacue water system is the affected site, and the residents that live in the West Ward, the entire West Ward, the entire parts of the Central Ward, parts of the North Ward, parts of the South Ward are affected by what's going on within that system. And what happened is the corrosion control inhibitor stopped working. It generally puts a coating on your pipe, and it stopped working. And so the lead in the pipe started leaking into the private homes water.
Right.
And so what we're doing is introduced a new corrosion control inside the water system. It's running through the pipes now. That's why the mayor is requesting that people still run their water.
Right.
Even though they're getting bottled water, he wants them to run their water.
Because if you run your water, that means the chemicals can
Yes.
coat the pipes.
Yes.
If the chemicals coat the pipes,
Yes.
that means that the lead actually will stay in those pipes.
Yes, and in general, that's going to take months to happen. So you're talking about right now, they're saying that may not take effect until about December or probably later in December.
Which is why people need bottled water now,
No
especially
question.
if they have lead service lines in their house.
No question. And we're testing right now the filters. So although that two of the filters didn't work, they're doing a much more expanded test of the filters to make sure that they that what we seen rather was something that was just abnormal, or all the filters don't work, period. And so we're doing a bigger sample size now. As soon as those results come in, then we'll know rather you can utilize those filters or they have to be replaced.
And the company is the company involved at all?
You know what? I can't answer if the company,
Okay.
but I'm sure they are, because you got to think that's a lot of money
Right.
they will be losing if they come find out that these filters aren't working, because they worked in Flint. And people saying that they not working here, but we can't really say that because we don't know for sure. The sample size is too small.
Right.
We have to take a much larger sample size for us to be affirmative, or rather the filters working or not.
All right, cool. So the recommendation very clearly is call, make sure that if you have a lead service line or not, if you're one of those wards that are affected, make sure that no matter where you live in Newark, just get your water tested anyway.
No question. If
Right.
you are uncomfortable with what's going on and you believe that lead is leaking into your water, or you believe that you have lead in your water, you should call. Rather you have a lead service line or not, and ask the water department to come test, and we will come down here for free to test your water.
Okay, and so that is something that probably everyone should do, right? Like everyone should have their water tested. And can people test their own water? Are there things that people can buy?
Well, we wouldn't suggest that. We
No?
want to make sure that it's done by professionals. I mean, there are kits out there, but we want to make sure that it's done by professionals. And so we're asking, yes, it's a serious matter, and people should, be concerned about what's going on, especially when you see some of the nonsense that's being said out there, some misinformation that's being put out there. Because let's be clear, the water source does not have lead. The water coming from the watershed does not have lead. For there to be lead in the water, there needs to be a source of the lead in the water. Lead doesn't grow in the water.
Okay.
Either you have to have industry dumping the lead in the water, or you have to have lead pipes in your home, or the lead pipes within the system that's carrying the water. That's not the case here. You know what I'm saying? And so what we have is individuals that have older homes, which the mayor has always said, by the way, that have lead pipes, and we need to change those pipes for the permanent fix. For the temporary fix is what we're doing with the control, the corrosion inhibitor, and the filters, and passing out the bottled water. That's a temporary fix.
Right.
The more permanent fix is to replace the lead service lines that's running through your homes, and not just the lead service line, because some people have lead plumbing fixtures. Those need to be replaced too. Now, we can't replace those, but the homeowners need to ensure that those fixtures are replaced. Because even if you replace the lead service line, if you got lead fixtures within your home,
Can you explain that?
Well, the lead fixture is like a faucet.
Okay.
Or the pipe that's running up under your sink in your bathroom. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you still have that as lead coming into your home, even if the lead service line is fixed, you're still going to have a problem with lead coming. So we want to remove all the lead.
So in other words, in older homes, no matter what ward you live in, right? Like in older homes, you should have your water tested anyway, because you don't necessarily know what that source of lead would be.
No question.
Like sometimes people, and even I believe it was suggested that even individuals get tested, their own blood tested, your kids tested to see if they have lead within their system.
No question.
And so those are things that, as a regular thing, we need to do because we actually live in an older city.
Yes. And it's the third oldest city, by the way, in America.
And so there can actually be lead in paint. There can be lead in
no
different
question.
things. There can be lead in
No
your
question.
fixtures that actually lead to contaminated water.
No question.
And I think this is something that we're all being educated on.
Well, but the funny thing, when people say that, listen, when we were kids, if you remember, before we went to school, we had to get lead tests.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And that was during the Gibson era. I was a kid in school during the Gibson era.
But that's because they thought we were going to eat the paint.
Right. Well, it wasn't just the paint, it was the water too.
Really?
Yeah, back then it was the lead paint, it was the water, it was, you know what I'm saying? We had to get lead tests when we went to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when folks say that we're just getting educated, well, some people may just be getting educated, but those of us that have been around for a while should understand that in the city of Newark, there's been some sort of lead problem, whether it's the water or rather it's the paint and people or eating pencils or eating lead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, when we were kids. That's been going on for quite some time. And so, I think that, whether it's the paint or rather it's the water, we have to be proactive in showing that, we fix those problems. The paint should be removed from your home, which we can help do in the health department. In addition to, we need to make sure that the lead pipes are removed from your home. And the only way that you're going to do that is by signing up with the city of Newark, do the, I wanted to make sure I said it right, the NewarkLeadServiceLine.com. Or call the number 973-733-6303 to ensure that you sign up to get, because we just can't go on your home and do it.
Right.
And that's what other people need. And that's why it's important to get information out and stop the misinformation. Because if you don't sign up to get the lead pipe removed from your home, the city just can't go dig up your ground.
Private property.
And it's private property and take lead pipes and remove it from your home and replace it. We can't do it. And so the problem would never be permanently fixed. So it's important that if we're going to do press conferences, that at least, even if you're going to complain about the mayor, even if you want to blame the mayor, that you should also add, listen, why don't you make sure you signed up, get your home signed up to get the lead service line replaced? I mean, just do that part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Have some positivity that's going to come out of you out here campaigning against the mayor 3 years before an election, because that's really what's going on. Because
you're saying that there's a political component of this, but isn't there also an environment, like there are environmental organizations that sued, like that's not necessarily political. Isn't that good in terms of there are different ways to get information out, the different ways to, like just like the ACLU sued for police brutality, you have an environmental organization that sues to get information out, keeps everybody on their game.
But that's not what happened here. And see, this is the myth that I'm talking about. This administration, the mayor has at each point in time, when these folks say that they sued to get this information, nobody would have known this information. That's not true. The reason why they know about the information because the water department was releasing the information. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so they sued for more information. So let's be very clear. So when folks put this misinformation out there, they say, oh, if it wasn't for NRDC, whatever that group is called, if it wasn't for them, then no one would have known that we would have. Well, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? They sued for more information. The administration was already, every time they were testing in it came back that this was a problem, that if the water was leaked, that the corrosion inhibitor wasn't working, they put that, that's how they found out about it.
Because it was published anyway.
Yeah, well, you have to publish. You don't have a choice. If you hide it, eventually somebody's going to find it. So it was being published. So they were suing for more information because people probably were calling them saying, oh, we have this lead problem. You need to come up in here. They're saying, oh, it's like Flint, which, let's be very clear, is nothing like Flint, by the way. In Flint, they changed the water source. Let's be very clear about that. Because folks keep on saying, oh, we at high level. No, that's just not true, people. That's just not true. It's nowhere near true. In Flint, the elected official purposely changed the source of the water to a municipal river instead of where the fresh water was coming from. in the city of North, the water comes from the same exact place it's been coming from, the watershed. And it's not dirty water. It does not have lead in it. There's no industry dumping lead at the watershed. And so when people put that information, if you look at the campaign, like for instance, if you look, we got this, I'm gonna call it the dining room table show, where you have these folks who have grudges against the mayor putting out information. I just want to read some information that I don't know if my live feed went down, but I just want you to read something was put out by one of the failed councilwomen of Hillside, who lost the election, who's one of the hosts on the show. So you got that host, you have the kept husband of the former council woman on here who claims that he's so intelligent and everybody else is not, but yet he can't find employment or contracts unless his wife is elected. And then you have
wow.
well, that's the truth. He claimed he did all his development, he did all these projects, he's the most smartest guy in the world. Everybody else is dumb, so nobody know how to do it. Everybody else is idiots, yet he can't find employment or contracts unless his wife is in office. So, what I'm saying, that that should show you about him. And then you have this other individual who hosts the show who has a grudge because he invested so much in an election that wasn't successful. And so every single day they go online and they complain and make issues with the mayor. But let me read out one issue. So the failed councilwoman of Hillside made a post today that said, throw him out. No more lies, no more time. But if you read the flyer that she posted, where she's saying this is the mayor is lying about, right? I want to read this flyer because apparently she's not reading it. So I want to read this flyer. So she posted a flyer. She said the mayor is lying in this flyer. This is what he lied about. This is why he should be gone. It says, dear fellow North residents, I am pleased to present the water quality report, which confirms that the city of North water is not only safe to use and drink, but that it is some of the best water in the state of New Jersey. Many of you have heard of or read the outrageous false statements about our water, but please know that the quality of our water meets all federal and state standards. The only high lead readings were taken inside of older pre-1986 one and two family homes that have lead pipes leading from the city's pure water in these structures. Now, is that not exactly what he's saying now?
Right, and it's like, how many? They're like, I believe 18,000 homes.
It's 18,000 homes.
18,000
But
homes.
But this is,
we know which homes they are.
And we know which homes they are.
They're listed.
And they're listed.
And people can find out and see if their home is one of those homes.
Yes, no question.
And those are the homes that priority need the water because we know that they have lead lines leading into them.
No question, no question. But this is what they're putting out as factual information saying that the mayor is lying. When even the flyer that they're posting that says the mayor is lying actually states in there that the issue is with older homes with lead pipes. That's exactly what he's saying today. Nothing is different.
And also, the emphasis is on getting tested.
No question.
In, get your water tested no matter what ward you live in. You can get it tested free by the New York City government.
You should go to the water department, contact the water department, and get your water tested. If you're not secure that your water doesn't have lead in, rather you believe you got a lead service line or not, you should come and get your water tested and have somebody come do it. It's free.
Because
so let's get it done.
Because it should happen as a homeowner or even a renter. You should do that anyway because you don't know what the inside pipes might be. Like even if you don't have a lead line leading into your home, maybe there's something else that's going on within your environment.
Well, like I said,
you
can have lead fixtures in your home that can also cause problems with lead. And we want to make sure that if lead fixtures are in your home, you don't have a lead service line because there has to be a source of lead. Lead does not grow in water. There has to be a source of the lead. In the city of North, the watershed water is pure, but when it hits the city lines and they go into these private homes that have these lead service lines, unfortunately, because the control inhibitor wasn't working, it's leaking the lead pipe, is leaking from the lead pipes. It's flaking from the lead pipes.
And actually, one thing I did not know until like this crisis happened a few years ago is that all over the country, like this is an infrastructure problem.
No question.
And it's an infrastructure problem, and there's a treatment of water that's the same thing because people are like, chemicals in the water. Why do they need to put chemicals in the water? Right. But every water supply has chemicals in the water to deal with one form of harm or the other in every municipality. Older municipalities treat water the exact same way
Yes.
to make sure that they coat the lead pipes.
Yes.
I didn't even know that, right?
And I, you know what? The funny thing is, until this crisis, I learned a lot too. I didn't even know that. And I got to be honest with you. I want my lead pipe. I want the lead pipe out my house.
Right.
I don't want even no coating in my home. And this is the information that we should be putting out there to residents. Sign up to get your lead service line changed. And we need to make sure that the priority is for the individuals that's in the system that's affected by the corrosion inhibitor right now. That's what we need to make sure happens. This is the information that we should be on. If you want to listen, I'm not above, the man's not above criticism. If you want to criticize him, then great. But at least give out right information. The problem that I have with a lot of the folks around here that they say, y'all, you believe that y'all above, y'all can't be critical. That's not true. But you can't make something up, criticize me about what you made up, and then tell me I don't want to be criticized. No, I'm correcting your misinformation. Give out the correct information. Go to the people who's affected and ask them. That's what we should be doing. Please, are you signed up? If you have individuals that's concerned, that's calling you, you should ask them, are you signed up to make sure that your lead service line change? Have you, if you're uncomfortable, have you went and contacted the water department to come test your water?
Right.
You know, I mean, let's do this thing. Let's do this.
And if you're talking about criticism of someone saying, hey, I called up and they didn't come, that's a criticism.
Right.
If you're saying I called up and I just keep getting busy, that's a criticism.
Yes.
It's a legitimate criticism.
Yes.
But if you're saying like, I'm just not going to drink the water and I haven't even tested my water, I haven't called to get my water tested.
Yes.
Or if you're calling people not to drink their water and you're not saying, no, test it. Like, or you have to immediately test. Like, if you're concerned, definitely test your water.
Or inciting everybody to believe that it affects the whole, that everybody's affected.
Because the rumor is that no matter where you are in the city, your water's contaminated.
But that's what they're pushing. And this is the problem. This is what the mayor was pushing back through the election. And this is what he's pushing back to today. No, that's not true. That's not true. It's affected the 18,000 homes who have lead pipes is affected because they have lead fixtures. And let's be very clear. I mean, they have lead pipes, and you may have some other lead. There has to be a source of lead. The lead, there is no lead pipe from the city that's sending water to your house. There's no lead pipe. So if you got lead in your water, there has to be something that's causing that lead. We don't have industry. We don't have factories that's dumping chemicals like we used to have in the Passaic River. Right. We don't have industry or factories that's dumping chemicals up in the watershed to put lead in the water. There's nothing up there but trees and nature and rain. You know what I'm saying? And then we have a plant that put the chemicals and it purifies the water and it comes into the city of North. But once it gets into the city of North and goes into individual homes who have these lead pipes, because the corrosion inhibitor stopped working and we had to put a new corrosion inhibitor there, the coating in the pipe stopped working and it began to flake. And for us to fix that permanently, which is what we should want to do.
Right.
Because next thing you know, they'll say, well, what is in the corrosion inhibitor that puts the coating on it? That's causing such and such. Let's change the pipe.
Right.
How about we change the pipe? You know what I'm saying? Well, why don't we do everything in our power to make sure that the pipe is changed?
We have a phone call. Do you want to take a phone call?
Man, are you kidding? Yes.
All right. Hello, this is. Hello, the caller. Hello, caller. Are you on?
Yes, I am.
You have a question for the Deputy Mayor, Rahman Muhammad?
Yes. So, Mr. Muhammad, this is Councilwoman Williams. I have a couple of questions.
Councilwoman Williams.
From Orange.
From where?
Orange.
Yes, sir.
Oh, from hey, what's up? What's up, bro? What's up? I'm like, that's my girl. What's up?
If we get called in on a problem and we realize that there's a lead pipe, the state mandates that they change that lead pipe. But I've had the problem where constituents have refused it because they were not prepared to pay for that. So in light of that, is there any bills coming down that can help people change out their lead pipes? Because this is an infrastructure problem, and oftentimes people are not ready to pay the cost to have them replaced.
Well, good question. And for the city of North, yes. Actually, the city is paying for your lead pipes. to be changed. And
They're not paying for all of it.
they're paying your bill for it will be no more than $1,000.
So the
You know what I'm saying? The max you'll pay to get your, because generally it would take $10,000 to $12,000 to change these lead service lines. So the max you will pay in the city of Newark to get your line, and it will be over a 12-month period, will be $1,000, up to $1,000, because you can pay less too. So depending on the amount of work that they have to do, to $300 to $1,000. So if they have to do less work for the concrete and digging up the hole, then you would have to pay less. If they have to do more, you'll pay no more than $1,000 over a 12-month period.
If you are a homeowner.
If you're a homeowner in the city of Newark that have a lead service line and you sign up to get it replaced.
So
that's a deal.
So as a homeowner, you have to.
Yeah.
Oh, Councilwoman Williams.
Yeah. No, I was saying that's great information to put out, because I know what's affected my constituents is that $10,000 to $12,000 cost is, people just not prepared.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Councilwoman, because I'm glad you said that, right? I'm glad you're on air saying that that's what it costs, because that's exactly what the mayor has been saying. If you pay for these lines to be switched out on your own, then you will be paying upwards of $10,000 to $12,000 to get them replaced. But in the city of Newark, because the mayor, this administration, the state has joined in with us, has bonded the money, we are now working to replace these lead service lines at no more. The highest cost the homeowner will be paying is $1,000 over a 12-month period to have this line replaced.
So if I don't have the whole $1,000 right now, I can pay some this month, some next month,
over a
some
12-month period.
That, and all the way to 12 months.
Yes.
$1,000. I can break that down at the highest I pay.
That's how you pay.
And I can break that down over a 12-month period of time. And since I'm a homeowner, I've got to make repairs to my house anyway.
Yes. Well, you should be.
Well, I mean, fair. But but if you're a homeowner, you're always have to make some repair or another.
No question.
This one could cost you $12,000.
Yes.
If you lived in the very good city of Orange, it would cost you $12,000.
Yes.
If you live in North, it costs you at most $1,000.
Yes.
And that is because of the politics of both Newark and the state, and the mayor and the governor coming together, and with federal government, I believe, as well.
Yes, with the state government, not the feds yet. Right, state government.
Okay, so this is
not coming yet. Okay.
So this is just
state and federal. The city of Newark bonded the money, and the state assisted us in coming up with the money to help pay for the line. But right now, the mayor wants to speed it up, because right now the projection over a 10-year period to replace all the lines. He wants to try to speed that up in less than the time. And so he's looking at other sources to get more money quicker into the city of Newark right now. So I don't want to say what those sources is, because I want him to have his opportunity to actually go out there and be successful in getting that money.
Okay.
But he is trying to do it. But right now the projection is over a 10-year period that the lines will be replaced. But here's the other thing that a lot of people don't know, and this is something that you should know too, Councilwoman. You could not pay for, but prior to this administration, the mayor of the city lobbying Trenton to change the law that allows for you to take taxpayers' money and do work on private homes, you would not even be able to do that. So now in the city of Orange, Councilwoman, your town now will be able to spend taxpayer money to help residents in Orange change their pipes. In the past, you could not do that because the state forbid you to spend public funds on to do repairs in private homes.
So that was
the state prohibited the taxpayers to use their money. I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
And so there had to be. So the mayor really just had to go down to Trenton and actually lobby Trenton to change the law so that now Orange and now other cities around that do have the same problem.
Yes. So now everybody in the state can use this law.
But they can use the law. It's not Newark did it, so everyone else.
Right. It's not a Newark law.
Right.
It's a state law now that you're able to go out here and help the residents in your town, if you choose to, in your town, to pay for residents' pipes, lead service lines to be changed in the state of New Jersey. All because this administration, this man who they say don't have a plan, he's not doing anything. Are you kidding? It takes time to get legislation, y'all.
One former councilman actually did say he's done nothing.
Well, we don't win it. I'm trying to avoid that conversation.
Wow, right.
You know what I'm saying? We know what happened there with that councilman and his family and friends. But listen, here's what
I like the way you throw shade. Just throw it like Christmas time.
I mean, I'm not throwing shade. I'm throwing truth, man. I'm throwing truth, man. I mean, you know, it is the hypocrisy of these individuals who families robbed the watershed system all that time, now writing letters talking about the mayor's not doing anything when they sat on boards that control the water system and didn't do anything but take money from the watershed, and a lot of them are convicted for it and doing time for it. And so to even put out, like you would have thought somebody would have said, don't put this letter out. Don't put this out. I'm telling you right now, this don't make any sense. You don't put it. Don't you sign your name on it. But somebody thought it was a good idea because he's a former councilman that was going to get attention. But to me, it got the wrong attention because now you got my attention. And I'm not going to let you sit up here and just attack my mayor without me defending it. So let's be very clear about that. And yes, I work for him and I support his vision. And that's what that is. It ain't just about, because they tell you, the excuse is if you defend the mayor, oh, you're only doing it because of job. Well, what happened the years that I was supporting them before I was working for him? Because I've been supporting them since I voted for him in 94, but I actually been supporting and working for him since 1994 for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, they always use these excuses because this is what throws you off of what the issue is. No, I support this mayor. I support his vision. If you attack my mayor and you attack his vision, because I know what he's doing for the city of North, I know where his heart is at, then I'm going to defend him. And I'm going to do it with no chase, no hold, because they can't say what I'm going to say.
And you're like, hey, if you're accurate, if you're saying, hey, this thing that's going on is working too slow, or this, that's fine, because you're actually dealing with something that's going on, and criticism is legitimate. We go back and forth. He's trying to make sure that it's not it's not Bashir Akinyele.
What's good?
Hotep. Yeah, what's up?
Hotep.
Joining us.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Long-time veteran community activist.
Oh.
The person who says the number one political hip-hop radio talk show.
No doubt.
Hotep,
y'all.
So welcome.
Running a little late, brother.
All right, but if there's legitimate criticism, then that's great because the mayor deals with legitimate criticism. Right. One of the reasons why he's trying to make sure that it goes between like 10 years and he's trying to make it lower is because that's a legitimate criticism. Why I got to wait 10 years?
And listen, listen, if they complained about that, I wouldn't argue with them about their complaint. The mayor wouldn't either. The mayor is doing what he's trying to do, trying to shorten the time. So, like you said, that's constructive criticism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you say, let's do it better.
Right.
That's constructive criticism.
Right.
But like I said, if you're just going to make up a scenario for a political agenda and then turn around here and say, oh, you're not above criticism, well, you're not criticizing me on what you made up.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That don't make any sense. Let's talk the truth and then criticize my truth. But let's not make something up. Just like I just pointed out to you, the failed councilwoman actually had a letter that she posted that said the mayor lied, where he actually talking about the exact same things he's talking about today in that flyer.
Wow,
like,
that's deep.
But if people don't read past her saying the mayor got to go.
Right.
They read the body of the letter. If you read the body of what she posted, it's clear that he says the problem's not with the watershed. The problem is with the old homes that have lead service lines running through their home. But we don't want to talk about that. We just want to call him a liar when he didn't lie.
And also, like, how constructive is that? Let's say that they were absolutely like, mayor resigned. How does that help solve the problem? What goes on, right? Well, like the person who's been putting a lot of things in place and working is gone. I don't even know how that's a serious suggestion, as opposed to saying, everybody, get your water tested. If you are trying to be an activist and you have professionals and people who can actually test water, and so if something goes wrong, because hey, the water was tested positive for lead, let's get the city in here, right? Like, those are positive things, right? Because everybody needs to get the water tested.
No question.
And so if people are trying to be like activists on this, and what is actually needed is like help getting everybody's water tested.
No question.
Right? Because like, I know the city has limited resources.
No question.
Can't test every single home all the time, like tomorrow.
Right.
Like, they're going to have to schedule. Right. They're going to have to schedule.
Right.
So it seems like if there's going to be a community effort would be around making sure that instead of telling people don't drink the water, it's all contaminated, to like, no, test it.
Right.
Find other resources. If the city's moving too slow, find other resources to test it.
Well,
But
we want them to test it professionally.
Right.
So I don't want to, I don't want I don't want you can get your kits, but we do want you to contact the water department to make sure that they come out and test it, to make sure that it's done and supervised with a professional to get your water tested. Please, if you go get your own kit and test it, just call the water department to confirm it. To make sure that you're doing the right thing. We want a professional to make sure we find out if you got a lead service line.
And actually, I wasn't even talking about kids. I was saying that there are environmental activists.
There are.
And who are scientists who
question.
know the science, who could actually test it.
Yes,
right?
no question.
So, like, if you are an environmental activist, come to the city of Newark. We need you to help test the water if you have expertise.
Well, I think listen, have you seen the NRDC budget?
I have not.
Brother, their budget is hundreds of millions of dollars. I think that they should offer free testing to homeowners alongside with the city of Newark with professionals. Why don't they partner with the city of Newark and offer free testing with the city of Newark?
I think that makes sense.
That seems like productivity. You know what I'm saying? On homes that, on homes that people who feel like they're not comfortable would rather have a lead pipe or not, and they want to know for sure. I mean, people just offer the help, offer the assistance.
Now, I think that there's a possibility they might do that. So you're saying that there's a possibility?
I don't know if they will do that.
Testing.
Listen, I don't. Listen, I have no idea because the way they're coming at the city doesn't seem like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
They're not coming at the city like partners, but there's a way they could.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure the mayor would sit down and be amenable to work with anybody if you're trying to fix the problem. But if you're just trying to create more problems, or trying to incite the city to say, oh, this is another Flint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that you can raise money for your organization, then I don't know if we want to buy into that. You know what I'm saying? This is not Flint.
Panic.
Of course it's setting up panic. No question. You know how many people have called me in panic and or inbox me or send me Facebook messages because of the misinformation that's being put out there? And let's be clear. The NRDC is not saying the source water has lead in it.
Right.
So I want to be clear about that. Right. So they're very clear. They're very careful not to say that the source water has lead in it. It is the other individuals within the city who want to create a political agenda that is trying to incite people as if the water from the watershed has lead in it. Those are the individuals. The NRDC is not saying it. So let's be clear about that.
All right. John.
We have Councilwoman Williams who's back on.
Back on. What's up, Councilwoman?
I'm sorry. I just want to point you guys on water, and I'm sure people are listening to remind people that Assemblywoman Timberlake is accepting water.
People are commenting.
People make comments.
All right, so Bashir, so you were. Oh no, yep, we've got it. Thank you very much, good Councilwoman. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
All right.
But Bashir Akinyele.
Yes, sir, brother.
You have some announcement.
No doubt.
Your phone is blowing up. It's blowing up.
Yes, our Facebook page, the All Politics Local Facebook page is blowing up like crazy. We got all kinds of comments, questions and comments. One individual named Cesar Adams, 10 years is entirely too long. Cesare, I'm sorry. Cesare Adams. Cesare T. Adams.
Yeah.
10 years is entirely too long, but if he's fighting to get more money, get the years lessened by the state.
The years lessened by the state?
I'm here for that, all of that. But he said the people shouldn't pay anything.
Well, but you cannot not pay anything.
Cesar Adams.
You know what I'm saying? I don't, I'm saying you cannot not pay anything. The city is paying 90% of what the cost is.
If it's $12,000 and you're paying $1,000 over 12 months.
But once again, it's a private home lead service line. The city of Newark did not put this lead service line in their home. Whoever built the home, whoever purchased the home, purchased it with a lead service line. It's on private property. The city of Newark did not install these lead service lines in these homes. That is the reason why the mayor had to get the law changed, so that he can replace these lead service lines, because it was on private property and private homes. So to ask to pay 10% of a cost to change in some cases less, to pay for a line that would normally cost you 10, 11. But listen, here's the thing. I would say to Cesare, that's still a constructive criticism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll accept that because those are facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll accept that.
And it's just a back and forth over the facts.
Right.
Like, wait, shouldn't have to pay any money. But no, here are the reasons why.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It makes sense that you have to pay something.
We got more questions coming.
Yes.
Comments and questions are coming.
More questions are coming.
All right, this one's coming from Nicholas Koratang. Hope I'm not mispronouncing your last name, sir. But he said, why are people being denied water at distribution centers?
Well, the mayor has instructed the staff, so if that's happening, please go back to the centers because the mayor has instructed the staff at the centers not to deny anyone water. What he is because what's going on right now is if you're on the list, if your home is not on the list, they're denying you water.
Okay.
What the mayor is saying, listen, give them the water, have them request a test. Let's go out and prove to them that the lead, which is a great idea, by the way.
Right.
Let's go out there and prove to them that they don't have lead in their water. And let's tell them, listen, we're going to give you water now, but once we go out and test your water, find out you don't have lead that's seeping into your pipes, then you won't be qualified for the water in the future.
Right.
I thought that was a great suggestion.
Right. And so that's what all the centers are doing now.
Yes. So they've been instructed.
So initially, they were only giving water to people who were in those 18,000 homes.
Yes, at first.
Initially, they were only doing that.
Yes.
But they've changed. They took the constructive criticism.
Yes.
And they've changed and said, hey, we will not deny anyone water now. Now you will get water, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you request to get your homes tested.
Yes.
And so then after you're tested and you don't have lead, then you're not eligible for more.
Exactly. And let's be very clear. This was in an order from the mayor of the city of Newark.
So
he's
this is
instructed his staff to do. This is an executive order, is what he's instructed his staff to do. So if there's anyone who's being denied water, because at first they were told only give it to the individuals because you only, like you said, you have limited resources.
Right.
And what they were told was to only give it to the people whose homes are on the list. Because like you said, we have a database of individuals who have the lead service lines.
Right.
And they were instructed at first only to give, but then he changed it. You know what I'm saying? The director of the water department said this much in court yesterday, where he told the judge that, listen, we're not going to deny individual water, we're going to give it to them, and then we're going to go test their water to prove to them whether they have lead service lines or not.
Right.
Which is a great idea, by the way.
That is. Because you're getting people, the goal is for everyone in the city of Newark to know for certain whether or not they have something within their home or something that is giving their water a problem.
Well, listen, when you have the mayor understands, let's be very clear, that if you have folks that's on social media, that's in front of the cameras, that's inciting that all the water, people scared. I mean, and they have a right to be scared. Let's be very clear about that, because it is hard for a Newark resident who just trying to go about their business, take care of their homes, be good family, be good citizens in Newark, to hear some of the confusion that's being put out there by those that's on the opposition, who have political agendas or vendettas against this mayor, putting out misinformation when the city is trying to put out the correct information. Then you're confusing people. Who do you believe?
And
you know what I'm saying? Because
and then it spirals because you have people who don't have any agenda but who hear the information
and
are just like, hey, this is very, very dangerous.
Well, the problem is that we have cynicism about government no matter what.
Right.
We have built-in cynicism about government. We don't trust government. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth.
And
no matter who's in charge,
we shouldn't.
And no matter who's in charge, we
Right.
just don't trust government. I mean, that's just the reality.
We're black in America, of course. Right.
So when you have individuals that's out there, that people, some of these activists, people who believe in this community, because they're activists in this community.
Right.
And so when those activists are out there in front of cameras saying and being irresponsible, as far as I'm concerned, giving out misinformation, inciting everybody to believe don't drink none of the water, the whole city is affected with lead, then of course you're going to panic. You're coming to these centers because you want to get water, because you want to make sure that your family is secure. The mayor understands that. And that's why that's why he gave the instruction. Please do not deny individuals water. Give them the water. Let's go to their house. Let's test it. And let's prove to them whether they have lead pipes or not. I think that was a great edict.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For them to follow. And so if you are being denied water, from these centers, please go back to your senators and tell them the mayor instructed them to give you the water. But please also open your doors. I think the most important part of it is also open the door of the tester for the tester who's going to come to your house to show you whether you got a lead service line or not in your home.
Right.
That's the most important part to me.
And give feedback on the way in which it's done. Because like city government, people are human, right?
Yes.
Like this is a massive effort that's going to be underway in terms of testing water.
Yes.
I am sure that the water department is inundated with calls and appointments, et cetera, right? So there's going to need to be constructive criticism on how to get this done.
Yes.
Right? Like just like, hey, the mayor, we're not getting water. And then it's like, no, let's give you water and then let's get tested. Because the criticism leads to better ideas coming through.
Listen, that was good criticism, folks.
Right.
Listen, if you saying that your home was on the list and you went there and you found out that it wasn't, you should get the water and you should get your house tested. If you feel uncomfortable and you really unsure whether you got a lead service line because you're hearing some of the information that's out there and you come to the center, you should not be denied water. You should be given that water so that people, and then, but like I said, open the door for the tester to come test your water so that they can see if you got lead service or not.
Right.
I mean, this is why the mayor has started a fund to raise money for water. This is why people doing donations for water so that we can turn around and make people feel comfortable that we're trying to help them. Let's solve the problem together.
Right.
Let's not fight one another with this misinformation campaign because we have some vendetta or you didn't get something that you want or you don't like me or you don't like them. Like, why are we going through all that in a crisis?
Because
you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not go through that in the crisis.
Because this is a multi-level crisis.
Yes.
It's a crisis in the concrete 18,000 homes, and it's a crisis in we don't necessarily know with the misinformation and the paranoia and people being legitimately afraid.
Oh, man, of course you would be afraid. You know what I'm saying? If some of the information that you hearing was true, I'd be afraid. If I didn't know facts, I'd be afraid. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
But like I said, the average citizen that's just trying to go about their business, work every day, take care of their family, take care of their kids, don't really pay attention to all of that. What they want to know is, do I have a lead service line or not? Do I need to sign up for the list? And is lead leaching into my waters? And that's what they want to know.
Right. And do the filters work? Right.
And do the filters work?
Right. I mean, because I think that's what this next wave of like, the next wave of the crisis was, wait, do we have filters that don't work? The thing that worked in Flint, Michigan is not working here, right? And I think that was legitimate kind of like panic too, because I got a filter, and a pure filter, and I'm just like, I've been using it.
And once again, information that, because here's the other misinformation. The DPE or the EPA came in and they forced in 2 hours. Brother, that's just not true. The city of Newark initiated the test in conjunction with the EPA to see if the corrosion inhibitor that they were putting in the pipe begin to work in the pipes.
Right.
Because it's been in there since, So it was a routine check and they found out. And once they found out,
everybody knew at the same time.
They came out and they gave the information to the public and said, the filters aren't working. We need to let's do bottled water until we find out if this is widespread or it's just
and it was like that. And it was like the same day, right? Like it was like, hey, we got the test. We came back.
Right.
And I think the mayor was like, when they were like, how far, they asked him a question and he was like, I actually don't know what's going on, right? Like, because he didn't know what was going on with the test. He just found out.
He just found out it was there. Right? So when they say the EPA forced them, they came in, the feds came in. Like, this is the stuff. So when you see all of that, if you're on social media and you see all this going down your top, the feds came in, they busted them, they were trying to hire. It's a conspiracy. Brother, none of this is true.
So because the mayor actually live in the community with the water.
Of course, the mayor lives in
the mayor's house is affected by this.
Brother, the best thing I seen he did the other day was that conversation on the porch where he had about where he lived and and the fact that he's affected by what's going on in this crisis. Not just him, his family members, all of us.
So,
by the way,
if he's drinking the filtered water.
So, Brother Rahman, we only got a few more minutes, right?
Is that really?
Yes, we only have 5 minutes.
Oh,
all right. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before we close out, let's clarify because folks are hitting this up on our Facebook page. All Politics Local. The water, all of Newark's water is not contaminated.
No. all of Newark water is not
that's what folks are saying they're saying all of Newark's water is contaminated.
Well, see, this is the problem. This is the misinformation campaign that we have to stop. All of Newark water is not contaminated. It's individuals' homes who have old lead pipes in their home that the lead is leaking from those lead pipes into the water. And we're trying to replace those pipes. We've already replaced over 700, and we're trying to do more, you know what I'm saying, as time goes by. And the mayor is actually trying to lessen the time of when this job is completed, which I think is a good thing.
All right, and one more thing before John jumps in. The mayor is not intentionally killing people in the city of Newark.
I mean, you know what?
Absolutely. Yes.
Bashir, I mean, I'm telling you right now, brother. It's some of the stuff that these folks say is heartbreaking. I got to be honest with you, because if you notice, man, if you really notice, man, you know that is nothing that he would be even thought or capable of doing to the residents of the city.
It affects his house.
And beyond that,
his neighborhood.
But beyond that, so I want people to understand. But beyond that, I want people to understand that this man's love for this community is unquestionable. I want to be very clear about that. It's unquestionable. Trust me, I'm in these meetings. I hear him talking to these folks that's trying to do development and trying to do. I know what he's doing to try to make sure that Newark is part of the turnaround of what's happening in the city. I know, believe me, and I've been in a lot of administrations. I've been in a lot of political meetings prior to these meetings. And believe me when I tell you, this mayor is out there working on the behalf of Newark residents. I'm just look at the stuff that's been going on in the city. You know what I'm saying? And to hear that type of stuff right there is just, you know who it is that's saying it. You know what I'm saying? It's people who they want to be ignorant to the information, or they don't want to get the information, and they just want to just throw bricks at and just and use a crisis for their advantage. Well, that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Why deal with this man's credibility? This man has always fought for this city. Unquestionably, I'm telling you that. Unquestionably. And I forget the fact. Let's talk about before I worked for him. So don't even talk about the time working for him. Let's talk about the time before I worked for him, when he didn't pay me a dime. From the era of 1998 till 2014, unquestionably, that this man was fighting for the city of Newark, and he's doing it while he's the mayor of the city of Newark. But if you don't want to believe me because now I work for him, let's talk about the years I didn't get paid by him and tell you that he actually did the exact same thing. So when you hear this craziness on there, man, please, y'all, just scroll through it, man. I'm serious, just scroll through it because it's nonsense. He's intentionally killing people. Like, how does that benefit him? Like, the silliness, man.
And for people And for people who are activists who care about the issue of environmental justice, on every issue, this is the most activist-friendly administration that I've ever seen. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, let's be real. Like, I mean, let's be real. I don't work for the mayor. Never have. I love my job. Love working where I work. No intention of ever.
Same here.
But like,
same here.
But like, being in Newark for a period of time and understanding what activists had to go through, and understanding that like there are administrations where activists would have no say in policy, right? But if you look at police brutality, and the issue of
Newark has a civilian review board, man.
But because activists were involved, right? If you're talking about violence, if you're talking about healthcare, activists are involved with
to get a civilian review board, years, decades.
And I'm just saying, like, with
and not every city has that in America.
And no, very few, and none have a civilian review board that is as strong as the civilian review board that is in Newark. It is a model for the rest of the country. So for progressive activists, and you say this all the time, right? But for progressive activists, if you are an environmental activist, this is an administration you work with.
Yes.
You don't need to work as in there's a legitimate thing where activists are always out ahead of the government. And if you're like, yo, the EPA, that they're not their stuff is bad. Their stuff has come from committees, whatever, and you are an actual environmental activist agency with scientists, etc. Like, if you believe in that issue, and it is things that you can put. It is just like what the ACLU does when they help look at and help create the civilian review board, right? Activists should be communicating with city government and city officials for policy reasons. Oh man, right? This is the right man to do it. Policy. Brother. And this is the best mayor in order to do that. So whatever environmental advocacy organization you are, work with administration. They're open to it. If you have money and you're like, hey, we are environmental activists and we need to help test all these houses, do that. contact
Right.
Rahman Muhammad.
Right.
Well,
Like-
contact the War Department.
Well, true. So like, look, I'm deputy mayor.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, look,
man, contact.
Hey.
But I'm there to help, though.
Right.
No doubt, no doubt, brother Rockman. Thank you so much, man, for sitting in for the mayor.
Yeah.
All
Wait,
right.
wait. So it's time. That's
That's
we
it.
over?
Yo,
It's
man,
over,
we ain't
bro.
gonna
Wait,
talk
one
about
more thing.
Booker, man.
One more thing,
Go ahead,
because it's
brother.
actually relevant to this.
Go ahead, brother.
Right?
Quickly.
So I hear Booker is going to be pushing infrastructure.
That's good.
Now I'm asking because did you hear like?
Well, I don't know.
Because if he's
I
not,
hope-
he needs to push infrastructure.
Well, he need to push something.
I think if he talked about infrastructure based on what's going on in Newark
Yeah.
and the infrastructure that we need,
Yeah.
no one else is talking about it, and cities all over the country need the exact same thing. Lead is not just lead and water, other forms of infrastructure problems, transportation problems, old infrastructure, falling down bridges, all of those things affect our communities all over this country. He could be out in front. I think that is a winning strategy for Cory Booker.
Well, I know back sure you gotta go, but let me just give one advice because I don't generally be able to give advice to Booker, so maybe he's listening. So if I can give Booker advice, I would say get out your own way. Stop being so cautious. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? Get out there and start talking. You know what these urban communities need. You know what our community need. Talk about it. Fight for it. Go for it. Stop just dealing with these national issues that some people saying, why is he just focused on that? Focus on the issues that you know that you can go out there, throw it on the wall. Go for it, brother. Go for it, man. Like
Absolutely.
the Rocky song.
Absolutely. Brother Rockman, we want to thank you, brother.
We want
All
we
right.
want to thank you and also, you know, you're here a few times. Hip hop, brother, who you listening to?
Right now?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I was feeling that brother what's his name? Oh man, see y'all got me messed up.
Uh-oh.
You know I'm an old man.
Uh-oh.
But the young dude from Atlanta.
Oh, you talking about
the one that came with the song with my man, J. Cole, the one that did the song with J. Cole.
Oh,
DJ Rhino, who's that?
No, what was
No,
his
DJ Rhino, who's that?
Yeah. I'm
He's
saying.
talking
The one that did the song with J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Which song?
Not J. Cole.
It's
Atlanta rapper.
gonna come back to you.
Yeah,
It's gonna
because
come
my
back to
head
you.
like I'm messed up.
It's gonna come back to you. That's all right.
The
'cause
new song that's out there is like the.
it's gonna come back to you, brother.
I
You
don't
know
think
what?
it's J. Cole. Is it J. Cole? The rapper. J. Cole ain't a rapper, right?
Yes, J. Cole's a rapper.
Well,
yes,
you know what I'm
yes.
talking about. The
J.
one
Cole's
did
a
the song
rapper.
with
Yes,
the-
actually a very, very progressive, strong rapper
Great lyricist.
that many young people listen to today. All right, and but Brother Rockman, we want to say again, thank you so much for sitting in for Newark, New Jersey's Mayor Raz J. Baraka.
Yes.
And again, I heard,
Do it.
and when John talks about activist-friendly administration, it's activist-friendly because our brother is an activist. All right,
No question.
he went from the streets into City Hall.
Yes.
And and the reasons why he did that is because he said there are resources in it that can help our people, black and brown and oppressed people, poor people in the city of Newark, and that's what he's doing. Didn't stop. I don't think he won't stop. All right.
He's not.
All right.
He's not.
That's what's up.
I know some of the stuff that's going on. He's like, but the mayor's not going to give up, man. He loves this city too much, brother. Trust me when I tell you, man. He's going to fight this thing through, and believe me when I tell you, he's going to see this water issue through, but he's going to see it through permanently.
No doubt.
He's not going to turn it right here and leave it for somebody else. Trust me when I tell you, he's going to try to fix it while he's there.
Okay, Brother Rockman, again, before you go, since you classic hip hop artist, just throw one out for us.
What do you like?
Real quick.
Well, I got to go with my boys, Eric B and Rakim. You know what I'm saying? Those are my dudes I go on tour with, so I got to,
All
go
right,
with my
that's
brothers,
what's
man.
up, Eric B.
You know what I'm saying? Let's
Eric B and
do
Rakim.
some Eric B for president.
Woo! The God MC, y'all. DJ Ronnie, you got that right, baby. You know that's my number one favorite all-time MC, brother.
Great show, great show.
Raekwon. Rakim Allah, the
right.
God MC. This is the All Politics, a local radio show, the number one political hip hop radio show in America, y'all. DJ Ronnie, let's go.